Libra. This is Chelsea with your monthly horoscope for March, and I'll just get into it. There's not much intro that needs to be said. I'll start with the Venus retrograde. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you're ready. You know, this Venus retrograde is actually in your 7th house, so it's going to be a lot of, rethinking these relationships that you have all around you. Libra is all about relationships, but honestly it's more so about fairness and aesthetics and balance and symmetry, but we always talk about Libra in terms of relationships. So this is a good time to consider, who do you actually want to be around? I think maybe for Libra more so than other people, who they are around really defines who they are. There's a saying that you become your friends, but Libra, it's definitely like that times 2 for Libra, because you're so into your friends, you're so into catering to what your friends want and like enjoying your friends' company. Whether you have 5 million friends or just 5, like you really, really enjoy their company, you really like to be around them. They give you something that is really integral to, your sense of identity. This Venus retrograde is happening in Aries, so our sense of identities are really being tested. In fact, Venus will make a retrograde. As Venus retrogrades, it'll make a square to Saturn. Then when it goes direct again, it's gonna square Saturn again. But that's more so like in early April. So your identity is really gonna be tested, And I think what may happen for you is you may be around friends, and you may have a friend, for example, let's say, I always use like doctor examples and stuff, whatever. Let's say you're a budding professional and, you're trying to get your life together, and you have friends who, and you're very like straight edge, you're just very like, the quintessential professional. And you have friends who are like F the system and smoking weed on the corners, and like maybe weed is legal where you are, so doing crack on the corners, whatever, ecstasy, they're just kind of like whatever, it's our life, it's our time, whatever. And you love them, you really do love them, because Libra loves almost everyone, but this is the time to cut them off. Because you have to understand, like even though you love everyone, not everyone can fit into your life. And if you keep these people, you will not be able to be who you truly want to be in this world. So it's either you or them. And you got to get smart, Libra. You have to realize that like, I have to look out for me first. And if that means cutting off some friends, then so be it. If it means trying to forge new relationships with people who you may not think of first, or like people who, I don't want to say unsavory types, but let's say like you have a new group setting at work or at school, or just you find somebody in this group or outside of that group who could be a real resource to you, but they're kind of like super introverted, or like they don't really seem very social. Try to be social with them. If it feels like a relationship that you should start, try to, they always say like retrogrades are not a good time for starting things, but like try to sit back and assess why you think this is a good relationship to you, and how you can proceed in starting this relationship after the retrograde, or even during the retrograde. I really don't see retrogrades as a time to like stop everything and like just throw in the towel for life and just sit back and like calculate. Maybe because I have a lot of retrograde planets in my chart, but I just feel like this is a time for you, Libra, to just consider your relationships, consider who you spend your time with. Time is money. And you don't want to spend your time or money on people who are not worth your time or money. Like it's as simple as that. You may have to evaluate a lot of different relationships. I think when people think Venus, they tend to think of their partner, whether you have a partner or not, or their romantic interests. And since it is in the 7th house, then yeah, you might want to look at that. But I think you, specifically Libra, will be looking at a lot more relationships than most people. You'll be looking at a lot of your friends, a lot of your coworkers, a lot of the relationships that you have to different institutions or like different places of work. Because Venus, along with relationships, also deals with beauty and deals with beauty and deals with wealth and making money. Venus is how you attract all the good things, and money is one of them. So if you have, let's say you're trying to get into a specific institution for a job or something that's work related, if the relationship between the two of you are strained, you're probably not going to get hired. You're probably not going to get into the institution, and that's going to, cut your money flow. On the other hand, if you take the time to analyze some of the relationships that you have with institutions that have to do with your money flow, you might realize that they're playing you. You deserve a raise and they're not giving it to you. And now you're left thinking, should I ask for a raise? Should I quit? This could be a time when you could figure out what to do next and how to deal with this relationship, how to transform it into something that works for you. Because that's what retrogrades are really about. You're trying to get things to work for you. Sometimes you could be completely wrong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could like really go for something and say, you know what? No, like I think it's this way. I think I should be doing this. Whether you go for it or not, whether you're just sitting back and analyzing, or you actually charge for it. And then you realize that you were completely wrong. All is not lost, because you can still learn so much from that, from your mistakes. You can still learn so much, and this may be a much longer lasting lesson, more memorable lesson. Just because it's Venus doesn't mean that it's going to be a smooth lesson, although Venus is your planet. So, just kind of take things in stride, you might get more passionate about some of your relationships because you don't want to lose certain ones. But just don't let the universe snatch something from you. It is Aries. And Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is a soldier. Don't let the universe snatch something from you. You would much rather want to give it up as opposed to let just, So anyway, that's the Venus retrograde. So now we have a series of conjunctions in your 12th house. Libra. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Your 6th house. So Libra. It might be a little hard. Okay, 6th house is very difficult. You might be faced with a lot of enemies. You might be faced with a lot of trials and tribulations. People may try you, but let's go with the first conjunction. Let's talk about it. Sun conjunct Moon on March 2nd. This is in the 11th degree in Pisces. Basically, you don't want to overthink too much. I feel like Libra has a very pure spirit. All the signs do, but like Libra is really trying. Libra is really, really trying to like get it right and be fair. The good Libras are, at least. That's why they like things to be beautiful around them and, like nice and orderly and pretty, because they just want to have a sense that all is well and all is okay. That's what allows them to connect so much with other people. So with Sun conjunct Neptune, you may start to think that you may start to feel grand and feel like bigger than you are, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but people may not really be here for it. And there's two ways to think that you're bigger than you are, right? If you take somebody who's trying to be like an aspiring artist in any field, they may feel like, man, I'm such a talented painter. Like I need to be, I don't know if painters get signed. Okay, sorry. let's use a singer example. I can get that. I'm such a talented singer. I should be signed right now. Like I'm the one, I have everything. And you may feel so grandiose, which is not a bad thing. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. But for you to assume that just because you have a little bit of talent, that things are going to fall in your lap, No, people are not here for that. And if you take on that kind of bravado, it's gonna hurt you this season, and it's going to work against you, and enemies will come for you, and you may not even see it coming because you're lost in your own reality, which is Neptune. You're lost in your own reality, and you're trying to tap into your core self, which, you know, a lot of times, you know, we may be trying to build ourselves up, which is a good thing, but we may overdo it sometimes. You know, there's some people who can't build themselves up enough for whatever reason. Maybe Neptune is a little strained in their chart, so they have this weird, unrealistic view of themselves that is really harsh and negative. Maybe Saturn somewhere in their chart, you know. So, but yeah. So you can build yourself up in a bad way where you think you're entitled to things. On the flip side, you can build yourself up to the point where, like, you know, I really want these goals because I believe that I'm worth it. I believe that I'm the one. I believe that I'm talented enough. And so you channel all that energy into working for your goals. This is key for you, Libra. Work for what you want this season. It's not really a season, it's just like a month. But like, work for what you want. I think good things will be coming for you. I mean, Jupiter is in your sign, so like, what could go wrong? Work, 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 work. I'm not gonna sing the song, don't do it. But work for what you want. And I'm not gonna guarantee that things will come for you. Sometimes you just need to work and keep your head down, and things will come later. But now's the time to work and build a good work ethic, build a routine around your goals specifically. I mean, you could build a routine around, you know, your body, your like your health, whatever. But this is the time to build a routine around the goals that you want. And your true calling, you know, figure out what you really want in life, and work on understanding who you truly are, because that's the sun, and try to do a lot. Doing, not saying, doing, not thinking, doing. Moving on, the next conjunction is on the 4th, March 4th. That is Mercury conjunct Neptune in the 11th degree. This is time to like spread the word, you know, like, it's not necessarily, so if you're a writer, it's a good time to write. If you have anything to do with the media, that's this, you know, favorable time. But you know, here's a time, because you're still working, it's still all in the 6th house, so you're still working. That Virgo energy is, you know, especially in the conjunction, you get a lot of the good of a sign and also a lot of the bad. And yeah, it's Pisces energy, so you could be a little like daydreamy. That's why you have to channel your energy into working, because you may think you're working this much, but you're actually working this much with Pisces energy. But that's okay, because you only need like just about this much. So you just need to bring you up here, but you think you're up here. That's fine. So yeah, like with Mercury conjunct Neptune, this is a good time to reach out to siblings, co-workers, classmates, people who just happen to be around you, people who you don't choose in your life. So you choose your friends, you choose your romantic relationships for the most part, but you don't choose your family, you don't choose your mailman, you don't choose your boss. I don't know, like there's certain people in your life who you don't choose, whether you like them or not, and whether you're on good terms with them or not. But this is a time to reach out to friends and family to help you with your goals, help and even bounce ideas off them. You know, if it helps, communicate with them, tell them, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm trying to do with my life right now. They may be very helpful and willing to help you right now, and able to help you right now. So that's Mercury conjunct Neptune. Avoid your enemies. I just feel like Neptune, you know, might try it this time. Avoid your enemies. You may even come across people who you didn't realize were enemies, but in that they don't have your best interests at heart. But I wouldn't worry about them so much. I would just say, do you know, stay positive. That's going to be key. Stay positive. It's kind of like if you have somebody who doesn't mean well for you and who wants to see you fail, if you shine anyway, they can't do anything. You know what I mean? Like they just can't do anything. You know, they could just see you shine and get mad. But if you start to play into their games, it's just gonna be a rabbit hole and you won't get out, and it's gonna be unpleasant for all of us. So anyway, next conjunction, March 7th, Mercury conjunct Sun in the 16th degree. So we've kind of gotten away from Neptune energy, and now we're into this nice, inner dialogue. We're very clear with ourselves on this day, because we have Sun conjunct Mercury. So the Sun is our true self, Mercury is communication. So you'll be able to really verbalize what you really came to do in this world, because I personally feel like you just got a blessing from Neptune, you just got, well, like with the Sun, and Mercury just got a blessing from Neptune. Now they're coming together to say, what can we make of this? What does this mean for us? How can we move forward? This is a great time to have your goals reach a lot of people. A lot of people have goals that have to do with masses of other people, either in a direct way or an indirect way. But even if your goals are just very personal, it's a good time to connect with people who your goals affect, in whatever way you can. Great time to start a project, especially since it's in your 6th house. And just kind of have like a nice plan laid out. This is a great time to make a plan. What are some mercurial things? Oh, skills. If you need to pick up any skills for this goal, now is a great time to start it and figure out a plan. It's one thing to say, oh, I want to learn a language. It's another thing to set out like 30 minutes a day and actually practice. Like I tried learning, or I am learning Spanish and German, and when I was setting aside 30 minutes a day for each language, things were going well. Now I don't do that, and I barely think that I can speak, but that's fine. If you want to really hone in on a skill, set out daily time. Daily time is precious. Okay, so what's going on next? Next we have a square. Don't fear. Squares are not the worst. They just happen to happen. I've been saying squares are when the masculine and the feminine principle meet, and when a man and woman get together, you may have some bickering. You may have good or bad sex. You may have a pregnancy afterwards, which is long and tedious, and then you may have a really painful childbirth, but then you have a child. You see how we had to go through a lot to get to something good, That's just life. All the good aspects are when masculine and masculine are together and feminine and feminine are together, and it's kind of boring, but squares, there's good things that can come from squares. That's basically what I'm saying. So we have Mercury square Saturn square Moon in the 27th degree on the 12th of March. And so this will trigger your 6th house as well as your 9th house, your 3rd house, and your... I'm missing one. 3rd... What am I missing? 9th... 12th house, sorry. So those are the houses to pay attention to, but more so, since it's a grand T-square, I would say pay less attention to houses because that's just a lot of work. But if you look at Mercury and Saturn and what it's trying to do, Saturn is harsh. Saturn is a planet that symbolizes something that we've been made to feel inadequate about when we were younger, and like we hold on to it, and like it kind of impedes our growth until we're 30 years old, if we're lucky. So, and Saturn is very harsh and cold, and Mercury is communication. So try to be very nice and sweet to other people, especially since it's going to trigger your 3rd house of communication. Try to be nice, try to be sweet. It's not that hard of a thing to do for Libra, but be careful. Especially with all this Neptunian energy that came on beforehand, you want to be careful with details and like signing any contracts, because this square may mean having to resolve those contracts or resolve those mistakes, and it won't necessarily be easy because Saturn's just making it harsh, and you're having to go through details that you overlooked. or you may overlook details during this time. Careful what you tweet, because Mercury is involved, and that's the media, and your third house is involved. Careful anything you put on Facebook, it may end up hurting you in your professional or romantic life, whatever. The moon is going to be part of this T-square, so you will see something materialize from this, and the moon will be in Virgo. So that is your 12th house. So yeah, check in emotionally. You might have an emotional breakdown. I'm sorry if you haven't been good. I'm sorry. But or maybe you just needed it. That's valid. Checking in with your moods, you'll definitely see a materialization of this T-square. So beware. And that's on the 12th. Then you have Sun conjunct Neptune on the... You have Sun conjunct Venus in Aries on the 25th and the 26th. This is in the 4th and 5th degree of Aries. So yeah, it's a nice time to be with friends, maybe relieve some of the stress of like the retrograde and the conjunctions in the 12th house. Relax, you know. I see this as a nice time to alleviate the stress of some of the harder aspects that you've been receiving this month. So definitely, you know, make time to hang out with friends and de-stress. I don't have much to say on that. I feel like Libra knows what to do. Like, honestly, with this aspect, just hang out with friends, just relax, or do something that makes you feel good. Do something like, you know, do something artistic. If you've been working on any art projects, now's a great time to do that. If you have any group projects that are artistically inclined, then or friends that are artistically inclined, then definitely hang out with them, work with them. So now I'm going to get into these moon trines, then I'll be out of your way. Moon trines. Okay, so moon materializes things, and Jupiter is the planet of opportunity and growth and expansion and higher education, philosophical thinking and high-mindedness and all that. So when the moon trines Jupiter, I feel like this is a great time to look for certain opportunities. So we'll just jump right into it. We already know that Jupiter is in your first house if you're ascendant Libra, or even if you're like sun or moon is in Libra, Jupiter is conjunct your sign. So the first moon trine happens on March 5th at the end of the day in Gemini, which is your third house. So it's a great day for communications. It's a great day for, you know, finding any opportunities that have to do with the media or anything online. If you want to launch any online business or online project, a blog, anything, this is a great opportunity to begin that. Or maybe somebody can give you an internship that has to do with something online. This is just a great day to look for opportunities online. Do a Google search for that job that you've wanted or anything. You're probably going to find it today. The next moon trine is in the middle of the day on March 24th. It's going to be Aquarius. The moon will be in Aquarius and Jupiter is still in Libra. So that's going to happen in the middle of the day on March 24th. I think I said that. And Aquarius is in your 5th house. So this is a great day to be passionate, the lover, you know. Anyway, no, it's a great day to be passionate. It's a great day to connect with people who you really love, people you're very passionate about. If you have a child, it's a great day to do something for your child or to connect with your child. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I don't want to make this too long, so I'll just leave. Bye, and I'll see you next month.